Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. The masculine frame. Now, this is very important. Now, if y'all notice for this podcast, I used the opening of me walking across a parking lot. And many people have commented on it. And, a lot of people say I look like I'm going to like a mob enforcer or something like that. Now, here's the irony. When I made that, and I said this before, I'll say it again. When that was taken by one of my lady friends, right? When that was taken, I was just walking actually to highlight the clothes that I was wearing. I wasn't thinking like, oh, let me show that walk. That's actually my normal walk. That's how I walk normally. That's how I step normally. But a lot of people took it, saw the danger element in there. But what it ultimately was just a normal masculine frame. Now, the masculine frame isn't just the walk, but is how you hold your posture. What kind of posture do you have? And how much vitality when you move across do you have? Like when you walking, right? Or just standing. Are you standing like with your shoulders slooped down and your head down? Or are you standing with your head up, your chin up, your shoulders square and back? It makes a big difference. That's a masculine frame because a man is all about action. A man is about how he moves. A man is about power. Now, let me get back to that walk because I've actually had some people say, hey, yeah, can you show us that walk and all of that? Or, do something. And I might get around to doing something in the future. But the key to it is when you walk, think about how a soldier walks. Think about if you have ever seen a soldier or like somebody walk. How do they walk? They walk with power. They step a certain way. When they march, it's a certain way. It's a power thing. That's one of the ways you want to walk. You want to think about it. Now, I know some of y'all hadn't been in the military or even something like the police force. Well, watch some marches or something. How do they march? They march with purpose. They march with power. Like when you going someplace, like when you walking, right? Are you just like meandering along and like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or you feeling sad, or you got something you trying to do, you trying to get there, right? Like if y'all thought that walk was something, y'all should see me when I'm about to go to something specific. Like that particular walk, I was just going to more of a festive occasion when I was walking in that one, right? I was going into something more festive, but say you got business. Like I remember one of the few times I was actually conscious of how I was walking. I was going to a business thing, and I was walking like with purpose and everything. And sometimes, well, let me give y'all a secret about just the walk, and then I'll move on to other aspects. And this is something Shahrazad Ali said in her book. I think it was one of her books. But, I think it was in her book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding Black Women, right? I think it was in that book. Now, what I'm saying now could apply to any man anywhere. But she was saying, it was either in that book or the one she did for the woman, The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. It was one of them. I can't remember which one. But she said, one of the things she said, it was important for men to wear hard-soled shoes as opposed to tennis shoes. Now, somebody might say, why? But think about something, especially a grown man. When a grown man is walking around in, athletic shoes or something like that, he's kind of chilled. He's not as serious. Seriously. He's not as serious about what he's doing. But think about when you put on a hard-soled pair of shoes. You can't. You're gonna feel it. I don't care how comfortable they are. You got to walk a certain way. You got to move a certain way because these ain't typically. They not soft, flexible soles and everything. Now they got something like that, in all honesty, but typically you got some hard sole shoes on. You got to walk a certain way. You ain't walking with that same amount of comfort. So that's very important. And then how you just walking, like, even beyond the shoes, It's like how do you holding yourself? Like a very powerful thing for women to see is that on a man is his shoulders. So how are you holding your shoulder? Are they slumped over or are they up? Because when they see that, that's a powerful thing, and that's part of the frame. Like when women see a man of a certain frame, they go crazy. That's why when they see those shoulders out, boom. That's why in some clothing back in the day, the shoulders would be padded. The shoulders would be padded, right? Because when they see that, the shoulders represent a man who can take responsibility. He can take responsibility for his life, her life, and everything. And on a subliminal level, they actually become very receptive. And especially with that V, if you got that V, the more you have a V, the more that your shoulders are prominent. Now, if you that guy, and this is part of the body game, this ain't just the mere aesthetic, but if you that guy and you walking along and your stomach extends further out than your shoulders, the women ain't gonna feel the same way. And you could even have normally muscular shoulders, but if the stomach is too far out, if it's too far out on the side, the obliques, the women, they ain't gonna feel the same. They ain't gonna feel that same energy. That's why, and because if it's a taper, in fact, that's why I would say the best thing, and I got this from Cousin Tito, and he's a pro at this, I would say like the area between your neck and your waist is very important for turning on a woman, even and really more so than your face. So you need to work on that in the frame of how you present that. It's very important. And then, like I said, you want to stand tall. You want to hold your head up because that's part of the confidence thing. Are you like, oh, it's me with your head down or something? Or you got your eyes up and you looking around, or you focused? That's a masculine thing, because see, a man is looking to on a deep level is looking to impose his will on his environment, even if his environment at that time is his personal space, his boundary. So when he's walking, boom. Like women, they actually get turned on by that. But see, it's not so much the physical form they getting turned on by. That's important. But it's the energy you projecting when you walking with some power, you walking with some vitality. Or even if you standing with your chest out, your shoulders back, boom. That's that frame. And that's something like anybody could practice. Even if you ain't like one of those super muscular persons, sometimes you could be a slim dude and present it. Or sometimes you do get some big men. You get some big men that can present that. I notice that if you know some of those big men who, especially the ones who can attract women, they still hit the gym. They got some more girth on them and everything, but they still carry themselves in a certain way. They carry themselves in a masculine way. And that's a powerful way. And women look at that as one of strength. Understand that. And that's very important for a lot of men. Because that's one of the things, it's been much said about women making a choice in a few seconds. One of the things they're looking at is the frame, your physical frame. That's part of the body game to get it there. But then even if you have it there, you still got to walk like, boom. You can't be like slooped over or anything like that. Very important. Very, very important. Because remember what I've always said about the three things that at least one of that a select man will have. The body, the charisma, and then the masculinity. That frame shows your masculinity. That shows it. And women they see it and they'll feel something on a deep level. Even if they think you average looking. But they'll still feel that. It's like a woo in how you carry yourself. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.